This applies to the full extent individuals are capable of accruing additional measures of Shabbos holiness. Learning Torah and performing mitzvahs increases the individual's divine consciousness. Since Shabbos is the day of higher divine consciousness, we may conceive the additional measure of divine consciousness attained by learning Torah and doing mitzvahs as a piece of Shabbos, that is added to the individual. This happens, of course, even in the case of divine service performed on weekdays. This accords with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai taught, namely, that Torah scholars possess on weekdays the level of soul that ignoramuses possess on the Shabbos. Okay.
It's like one man's trash, another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Right? One man's Shabbos is another man's weekday. There you go.
Thus, the reward that Hashem grants Torah scholars for their studies, or to those who observe the commandments, is likened to that of a worker who expects his wages. For such people earn their spiritual deserts daily, even on weekdays, when they accrue additional measures of Shabbos holiness. Therefore, the initials of these words allude to the Shabbos.
1 minute. Anyone catch that mistake?
Something didn't sound grammatically fluid.
Spiritual, grammatical or spelling?
Something.
Spelling.
Yeah, spiritual deserts.
Deserts.
Desserts.
Oh, two S's.
Desserts.
Yummy, yummy.
Two S's. Oh,
Not
yes.
deserts, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Unless they have spiritual deserts. I don't
They have
know.
a spiritual dessert.
They're
Yummy,
dry
I say
and-
yummy, yummy. I don't know what else to say. They have a dessert.
You
two
eat
S's.
sand?
Yeah, spiritual.
The
Yeah.
Gobi, you know,
I don't
Sahara.
eat sand. I don't eat sand.
Thus, the initials of these words allude
It's
to Shabbos because...
Shabbos. Good.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, so now on
6:22.
622.
Furthermore, the wages mentioned in this verse can be understood as well to refer to the reward one earns each day for his study and observance of the Torah. This combined with the other reward, the additional measure of Shabbos holiness that comes automatically with the Shabbos, as is known. On Shabbos, every Jew's consciousness ascends a spiritual notch no matter what. I yawn a lot on Friday night.
What does it say?
I'm yawning now, but
Yawning.
yeah. And I thought it was yeshiva. I went to B'nai Torah last Friday. Oh, I yawn. It must be Shabbos.
I thought it was my speech.
Well, it's not.
For you, it's late at night.
There was
Nah.
for the
On
dinner
big
or for
nights.
It's
the
5 o'clock.
for the dinner or for the speech.
Let's speak. Other needs before Shabbos, he will be able to enjoy them on Shabbos. But if not, he will have nothing to enjoy because the preparations he should have done beforehand are forbidden to do on Shabbos. This is like the story of the cricket and somebody else. Some fable. All right. You know, like the guy doesn't prepare through the summer and then comes winter and has a horrible death. Okay. Some Aesop's thing. The spiritual sense of the statement is that the
I
extent
think that's
of
the
one's...
tortoise in the hair. Yeah.
No, it's
No,
not.
that's horse in the hair. That's a race.
Ace, yeah,
Whatever.
Aesop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once a spiritual experience of level of consciousness, the
Spiritual
spiritual
sense.
sense
Spiritual
of the
sense.
statement is that the extent of one's spiritual experience or level of consciousness on Shabbos is proportional to the amount of spiritual preparation for Shabbos one engages in during the preceding week.
Right.
Oy. In more prosaic terms, one cannot expect to live, think, eat like an animal during the week and suddenly turn into an angel on Shabbos. If a person doesn't want to be left out of the action on Shabbos, he better put some time into refining himself while he still can during the week. True, as we said above, every Jew's spiritual consciousness ascends automatically on Shabbos, but without the prior weekday preparation, he cannot cash in on or tune into this consciousness, since he has done nothing to prepare a vessel to receive it. In any case, the point here is that in addition to whatever heightened spiritual consciousness an individual attains by learning Torah and doing mitzvahs during the week, these acts also heighten his spiritual consciousness on Shabbos.
Okay, let's move on to...
Let's finish. No, let's just
ask
finish.
them to-
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
Additionally,
Take it home. Bring it
this
home.
verse implies that specifically someone who fulfills the commandment of paying a worker on time acquires the ability to attain an additional level of soul the following Shabbos. This reward is given to him measure, for with regard to paying a worker on time, it is said, for he lifts up his soul to you.
It means he relies on you.
Yeah.
Therefore, in recompense for granting him his soul, so to speak, the employer is likewise given an extra level of soul with which to sustain his weekday soul on the Shabbos. And therefore, the Shabbos is alluded to in the initials of this verse.
So this is for the employer. You've earned Shabbos.
Yeah, so tell
Right.
my employer, hey, thank God you're giving me a check. The idiomatic meaning of he lifts up his soul is he looks expectantly or he directs his desire. Rabbi Chaim Vital now gives us an anecdotal illustration of the extent to which the Arizal took his own teaching seriously. My teacher, the Arizal, was extremely careful regarding the commandment of paying a worker on time. He sometimes put off praying mincha until he had paid his worker. This sometimes meant waiting to pray until sunset. If he did not have the cash to pay the wages and had to send people all over to ask others for money until he had enough to pay the wages. Only then he would pray mincha, saying, how can I pray to Hashem when such a great mitzvah comes my way? Can I put it off and still face Hashem in prayer?
What does that
Boy,
mean?
It means that
How can
the
I-
employer does get of course, the
Recompense,
soul that
the
is lifted up,
reward.
but also the employer has this obligation to this worker, and how can you face Hashem in prayer if you're giving this worker his life and you withhold it from him? How can you face Hashem in prayer? So it's
It's a
now-
mitzvah to be done.
So no, you're fulfilling the mitzvah, but if you don't do it, you're also denying the worker his right, his livelihood,
Right.
which is
To enjoy Shabbos,
to
too.
enjoy Shabbos. So it's
But
got this.
what we're
double
talking
edge.
about here is or the juxtaposition between paying your worker and the Arizal doing mincha. The Arizal, when he davened, it wasn't a small thing, even though he davened 3 times a day, but it wasn't a small thing. But he would not do mincha.
Until he took care of his daily of his workers that
That had to get paid
They had to get paid,
physical
they're
cash.
Yeah.
right.
So you think, hey,
He could not
he
fulfill
couldn't-
his spiritual uplifting unless
they were
unless he satisfied his earthly
Duty,
duties.
yeah.
and my point is, he was a person who did not live in this world,
Yeah.
as we see from here, everything
Right.
that we're
No,
learning.
we see.
Right.
He lived in that world.
Yeah, but
Right.
but
He
he
had
also
it-
he saw that he was the giving the life force to these workers. And they were dependent on him, and he had to do that. He had to give it to them.
They just had to go out and pay their rent, pay
Right.
food,
Whatever
buy
they
food,
had
Right.
to
so
do,
that they could eat.
So,
Right.
but he saw
He was filling his
his
mind.
His
spirit.
He
The
realized
importance of the
that
of
he
the
had
mitzvah.
he couldn't face Hashem unless he did that.
So the physical mitzvah, the mitzvah of just paying someone what he owes them,
Yeah.
for him was a
Well, spiritual,
spiritual,
Of course.
godly.
Of course, it's a godly
pursuit.
act because
Right.
it's that person's life force that they're pronouncing. You're
He's
a
equating the two.
channel for Hashem Parnasa. You're the channel. How can you block that?
He's equating the two.
Yeah,
He's
you're-
equating
you're the channel.
davening mincha
it comes
on the
first.
same, but that comes first before
Because
davening.
how can you
even
stop-
though he's there, he's up there.
Hashem gives the Parnasa. You've got to be the vessel to have it flow.
And he lived in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's beautiful.
Do not postpone.
and it's Shabbos.
Yeah.
Well, the reward comes in Shabbos.
It-
They used to call Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. They used to call him Shabbos.
Oh.
I think they're the scholars, or especially him, is called Shabbos.
Ah.
You see here
Hmm.
that they live Shabbos during the week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Was
What?
it Robinson Crusoe? Was Sandy? No, Sandy was the dog or something.
Sunday was the no. He's not the
Who was
dog.
Sandy?
Sunday was the guy he found on.
Oh, the guy. Okay.
No, that was
Friday.
That was Friday.
not
That was
Sunday.
Friday.
Sunday. What are you doing Sunday?
That was Friday.
What's the name?
It's
I
Friday.
remember.
Friday. Not Sunday. In Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Friday.
Sure enough,
Are we done?
I think we're
this
done
off.
before we
I'm
get too
cooking.
far fetched.
I read like
Sunday. What does Sunday have to do with it?
somebody was called Sandy.
What?
In Argentina,
Friday.
it was
Something
Sunday.
happened.
What happened?
Friday was Sunday?